So I started looking into uh, Active Directory auditing tools. We were doing a project to upgrade our domain controllers, as the typical cycle where we upgrade from the old ADDS to the newest OS, and wanted to get a better picture, a better understanding of what what uh, demons might be lurking in our AD environment. Like a lot of other IT folks, I inherited the AD that we have now, the domain we have, set up long before I arrived here. So I really wanted to get a better understanding of, what security challenges, what legacy things might be hiding in there. And Purple Knight was you know, really the exact thing I was looking for. It was easy to use, easy to run, easy to digest, and really gave me actionable information that helped me, kind of form an action plan of how best to overcome some of these challenges and uncover a lot of the legacy things that had been done in the past that needed to be addressed. So we have a lot of automation built into our Active Directory environment. We've got a number of domain controllers, and we've got a number of external third parties that need access to get into our AD for authentication and verification. As a school district, we've got 20,000 plus students who are changing classes or really moving around within AD, along with the staff and students. Teachers transferring to different schools, things like that, and that dictates a lot of the security policies, the groups they're in, the email distribution list. So we have a lot of automation built into Active Directory, and so a lot of it is hands off, which is great for management, great for ease of use, less manual updating of lists, but you lose a lot of visibility. You feel a little bit disconnected from it. So if as an attacker being able to come in, or an attacker could come in and potentially hijack some of that, or slip in some of the noise, because we have a lot of noise with all that automation. So it really is one of those things that keeps me up at night, is trying to make sure that that lone wolf doesn't get lost in the noise. We don't lose that needle in the haystack, so to speak. Biggest concern is that it's such a juicy target. I mean, it underpins so much of our network. And if someone's coming in looking to do something malicious, it really is probably one of the first things they're going to go to try to compromise, to expand privileges. And, being in a school district, I think it's I often say it's like having 20,000 penetration testers inside the network. We have these students, a lot of them are curious, a lot of them, are pretty competent when it comes to IT skills. And so they like to roam around and poke at things, without feeling any responsibility for if they break anything. So I have to treat that, even the internal network, as a no trust zone. And so there's a lot of, the balancing act between security and accessibility is the biggest tightrope that I have to walk. And Active Directory is the like I said, it's the linchpin to pretty much everything else. Without it, we can't verify, authenticate and verify who we are, and so it needs to be secure, but it also needs to be accessible, and that's a real challenge that takes a lot of balance on either side to walk. Honestly, no. I was looking around for some other tools, but when I found Purple Knight and I saw what it did, I really didn't have a need to go anywhere else. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind checking those other ones out, but this time I've just used Purple Knight for auditing AD. So the biggest thing was following our Active Directory upgrade in 2019, and ran the tool again, and I was expecting, it was eye-opening and disappointing. I was expecting a better score. I was pretty confident, and it kind of took a little bit of the wind out of my sails, and said, okay, I still have some more work to do. I had some DFS cleanup I needed to do, some sysvol cleanup, some other little things here and there to really, I saw that score and I was like, oh, man, I need to improve that. It was almost like a challenge. It's like Purple Knight threw down the gauntlet, and I felt like, okay, well, I gotta I got to bring this score up for any number of reasons, but just out of the satisfaction of knowing, hey, I've done some serious work to improving AD security. Yeah, definitely. I ran it multiple times. When we had our older 2008 R2 Active Directory environment, and then as I've made changes, so every time I make a change, I run it again to see if if Purple Knight detected the change, if my changes were adequate, if something else has come up, because anytime you make changes to Active Directory, it's such an interconnected system. You don't want to do more than one change at a time. It's really a change, wait, audit, change kind of procedure. So every time I make a change or an upgrade, following the next change, I'll run it again and run it before and after sequence to make sure that score comes up. After we did our upgrade to 2019, definitely ran it again, found some new things, made some more changes. So it's an ongoing process. It's never a once and done kind of thing. I wouldn't say so much the processes. It's really bringing light to some misconfigurations, bringing some visibility into hey, that's a legacy setup, or that was misconfigured from the get-go. Who knows how long it's been like that, and here's what you need to do to change it. So as we make changes to Active Directory, because it's never static, it never just sits still. So as we make changes to Active Directory, we run it, want to run Purple Knight, on about a quarterly basis, and really just to make sure that nothing's changed in the background and that we're still on the right track. Oh, definitely. It's really easy to it's one thing to go to management and say, well, and you got to make this change, and if it goes wrong, it could break some stuff, but here's why I'm doing it. But you go to them and you say, here's our Active Directory score, by this tool and by Purple Knight, and it's saying, hey, we've got some gaps in our security that we need to cover, and there are some changes that need to be made, and these changes are going to necessitate changing other things, or it could potentially break some other things. But when they see that score, it's kind of a right in front of their face and hard to deny, saying, okay, well, make these changes, have a backup plan, proceed accordingly. But they can't really, I guess, wiggle away from saying, well, let's leave it insecure. It's kind of hard for them to say that when you've got a report that says, here's what's wrong, here's why it's wrong, and here's what you need to do to fix it. So it helps with the planning process, and it helps with selling it to management, especially some of the major changes that Purple Knight recommends. It really makes that process easier. Definitely. I mean, it's a pretty powerful tool. I mean, it's a really nicely packaged set of scripts that really do a fantastic job of showing you some of the hidden aspects of your Active Directory that it might be functional, it might be working just great, people are logging in, but there could be other things lurking in there that you never expected, and that are just waiting for the wrong person to take advantage of. So as a little side use of the tool is it's great for testing antivirus, because if you get some antivirus software will detect it, they'll see those scripts run, and they'll completely won't detect it or ignore it, and others will at least flag it as like saying, hey, something's fishy going on here, because it is digging deep into Active Directory. And so I noticed that when I was running some tests and we were doing an antivirus transition at the same time, and the old stuff wasn't detecting it, but the new stuff was saying, hey, you got something going on here, you might want to check this out. And of course it was Purple Knight doing its thing, but it was kind of good to know that kind of helping out some other systems as well.